What's going on, everybody? Thank you for checking out this video. And it is December, which means it's close to the end of the year, which means New Year's resolutions. And a lot of people these next couple weeks are planning on gorging themselves these last few weeks of the year of the things they're going to try to get rid of going into the next year. And if that's your strategy, if it works for you, it works for you. Maybe I'll make another video about how that's probably not a good idea. But we'll talk about that some other time. So today I want to give you a solid practical plan to achieve any physical goals that you're looking to achieve next year, specifically in the category of fat loss. So if you haven't already checked out my video right here about gaining size and muscle mass, so in that video I talk about how many calories and macros you need to build muscle for your specific body type according to your size. But today we're going to be going the other way. We're going to talk about losing fat. So in this video, I'm going to give a foolproof plan of how to lose fat, and there's no special shakes or special exercise or magical food that's going to make you do it. It's all numbers. As long as you understand this formula, this equation, and that you crunch these numbers and use them according to you accurately, you are guaranteed to lose fat. So as I spoke about in the other video, fat is just extra energy that your body's storing for another time. So the reason it does this is because your body realizes, hey, the amount of food or energy being put in is more than the amount of energy that we're putting out on a daily basis. So we'll store this extra energy in a lightweight way that we call as fat. So the only way to get that extra stored energy used up is to do what's called going into a caloric deficit. The amount of calories or energy coming in are less than the amount of calories or energy going out or used throughout the day. For example, let's just say, hypothetically, I burned 1,000 calories. 1,000 calories of energy throughout the day. But I only put in 500 calories of energy during that day. I only ate 500 calories of food throughout that day. I would be in a caloric deficit of 500 calories. In the other way, I could be in what's called a caloric surplus, which means that I put in 1,000 calories of food throughout the day, and I only put out or used 500 calories during that day. So I would be in what's called a 500 calorie surplus during that day. And with that surplus, my body's gonna say, hey, extra energy, let's store it as fat. You only want to be in so much of a caloric deficit, as a disclaimer, because it is not advised and it's unhealthy to be in a caloric deficit of more than 7,000 calories in a week. One thing that a lot of people don't realize is that your body needs energy or calories just to keep itself alive and to stay in a state of homeostasis. And to make things even more practical, for someone that wants to lose 1 pound of fat in a week, you'd have to be in a caloric deficit of 500 calories every day through that week. That's a total of 3,500 calories deficit that week. So if you were to start now, you could lose over 10 pounds of pure fat before summertime of 2022. And I'm sure you've all seen this picture before. This is what 10 pounds of fat looks like. Now imagine if you were to start today and then get to the summertime, how much fat you could lose before then. And so the first step in figuring out what formula works for you is to find out how many calories you use a day. As I said earlier, there's a thing called homeostasis that your body has to be in order for you to be alive, and that takes energy. So you need to take into account how many calories does your body use just to stay alive. If you were to lay in bed all day, how many calories would you burn? There are a lot of nutrition companies, gyms, and smoothie shops that offer what's called a body composition test. And in that test, it tells what percent of your body is made up of fat, bone, muscle, water weight, etc. And in that test, it also tells you how many calories you need, specifically unique to you, how many you need in a day just to stay alive. So I would recommend go take that test if you can find a place that offers one for free. And then there are devices like Fitbits, Apple Watches, Garmin's that give you an up-to-date and fairly accurate number of how many calories you're burning throughout the day, whether that's through exercise, going back and forth to work and home, or even laying in bed and while you're sleeping. So for example, if you're wearing your Fitbit and you find out, oh, Mondays are my really hard workout days and I burn 6,000 calories on those days, then you know Mondays I need to have 5,500 calories if you're trying to be in a caloric deficit of 500. And once you know your output levels, then you can start tracking and planning for your caloric intake. Start tracking your caloric output levels for the next 2 weeks, or maybe even through the rest of December so you can get a more accurate number. And then in January, start planning for your caloric intake so that you can lose the amount of fat you're trying to lose by the summer. I guarantee you that you will be 10 times closer to your goal than you were last year if you didn't do this. Guarantee you. So the information I gave you is enough to achieve the goals, to plan and track the nutrition, the caloric intake, deficit, surplus that you're trying to get for your goals on your own. You have enough information to do that right now. But for those of you that don't have the time to come up with a custom workout plan, meal plan, sample meals, and macro and caloric goals and targets that you need to hit on a daily basis, I can provide that for you. All you need to do is click the link in the description below. And if that works for you, great. If it doesn't, and you're just going to have to find a way to make the time to do it yourself, that works as well. Let me know about your progress. If you have any questions or comments, comment below or send me an email. Thank you for checking out this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure to share, like, and subscribe. If you're new to the channel and this is the first time you're tuning in with us, welcome, and check out everything we've got to offer. We've got vlogs, meal plans, workouts, and motivational messages from myself and others. So I hope you enjoy it. I'll see you next time.